You asked the question, where is Theodore? And I took the assignment, and guess what? I found the main man himself, Theodore, and he's in the building. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good. How you doing?
It's good to see you, man.
Nice to see you. It's been a long time.
I don't even know how we'll begin this conversation, but listen. About 22 years ago, if not 21 years ago, I'm seated in the living room. And then I hear this female voice going like, Inakokonda. Who's that? First of all, let's start from there.
That was I think her name was Yolanda Guava. She was at some point on Sounds Arcades on ZMBC with Franklin Temple Jr.
Yeah. Wow, I remember Yolanda.
Yeah, she was very good.
Wow.
And she just happened to be at the studio where we're all just starting out, and we did a female vocalist.
Wow.
And Tike from Homicide just turned that to go.
Yeah, and that voice became like, was part of the instrumental. And then I hear this guy, Zona, mkazi nalikonda, chako mutima, ujamukazi nalikonda.
Oh, sure to see how beautiful she looked when she walked through the street. The other day, the same babe I told you about it, made at the moment, made me sing like,
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's this guy? Yeah. To this day, I think you're probably the only artist whose style has not been mimicked or replicated by another artist. You've actually been off the scene for some time. And now you're even back like you never left, and nobody has managed to copy that. How did you come up with that style?
So, look, good question. Like, just migrating back from the UK, coming back home, my parents, I couldn't speak any vernacular, by the way. In case you're wondering why my verses were always in English, I was learning. So what I could do is write my hook, my chorus in English and ask someone to translate. And I'll kind of like, right. First of all, hip-hop wasn't that big then. Coming out of the Tupac and the Biggie with kids, I was a teenager when you were hearing those songs. And I wasn't the best when it came to vocals. I'm not the vocalist. I'm a rapper, all right? I had to create a blend. Back in the day, for you to be noticed, and for people to pay attention to you, you need to sound unique. So it wasn't reggae, it wasn't really rap, he was not really a singer. People even said, the guy was off key, you understand. And now there's so many big artists globally who try to rap sing.
Yes.
We created that. I remember, may so rest in peace, Zach. He told me that at some point we're just too ahead of our time. Hip-hop is happening now, but we're doing this. Right? We're doing this from Cypher Music. Remember Cypher Music?
Yes. Pretty Banknotes,
Cactus. There was a bunch
Tyler
of
Penza,
a lot of
Linso,
big brothers who allowed us to record. Yeah, we were the kids in that space, and they allowed us to record, grooming us from the neighborhood. I was in Rose Park. They were grooming us, and we learned. That's why I learned how to record. The only thing you could do is stand out for you to get, first of all, to get studio time, and they loved it. They say, hey, do another one. By the time we're getting on radio, we're refined by chance. But out of that style, created our lifestyle. Over that period, I had over 6, 7 number ones. I bought my first car from that music.
You did? How did that go? Tell us about that. We love the money stories, man, because this industry is all about the money. If you're not making money, then you don't make sense.
Absolutely. So I'll take you backwards. There was, first of all, an ad in the paper they were looking for artists. And that was Ben Polokoso. Then that was Solid Rhythms.
Yes.
Went for.
In fact, Zona has the Solid Rhythm. The remix, there is a mention of Solid Rhythms.
Solid Rhythms, yeah. So he gave us a chance and an opportunity to kind of like express ourselves. There was Club Phoenix upstairs in town. So lunchtime, walked there with a couple of friends. CQ and a couple of others were there. went for that audition, smashed that audition before I even got out of there. You know, it was like all the way at the top. So by the time I was getting out of the lift and
Zimco House.
getting down the stairs, I received a phone call telling me that you got a role. You got a spot in the compilation. And went and did a single. After that, I was top 2 actually. There was Namakau was number 1. Remember? Well, no. She really blew the lights out. Mine did extremely well. So we're the two were given the opportunity to do albums. Then thereafter, I did the Ngwidi Lile independently.
So wait, you and Namakau, we're talking 2004?
2004, 2005.
Okay. Yeah,
Remember, we're just kids.
Yes.
And now you've got a record label that's signing you for a single. Then afterwards, they signed me for an album. So at that point, we're on the same label. Managed to do the first Theory album. It was scruffy. It was, you know what I mean? That did so well. It had maybe 3-4 number ones on radio, that one. Then I went independent. So bought the outstanding stock of my CDs, bought those. Then got into the studio.
So you did it the American way?
So creative control, but you also want to control your money. I told you, I'm not just about fame. You understand that the money is important. So then went into the studio and started working on the Ngwidi Lile album. It was actually Ngwidi Lile, the single song that managed to allow me to buy a car. Because I remember I printed those CDs, and first week I was sitting with 25 million Kwacha in my pocket. It's 25,000 now. That's how much a Corolla.
Before the money got rebased, we had 25 million
in the pocket. And there were 50 Kwachas that were cramped up. And I remember going with my older brother, like, just outside Zika's, they used to put cars there.
Yeah,
it was an AE110. AE110, a Caprio one, my first car. I love that car. Went there and I called the man, look, I've got the money. I showed them in the cell. So we drove home. I was in Rhodes Park and we counted all cramped up 50 Kwachas, and he had this 25. He gave me a discount, paid 23.5. Boom. My first car, no plate. Friday at the show at the Polo Grill. Polo Grill, I told you, performed over 100 times there.
Yeah.
We had bands, without bands. And I reached there and the guys, I was performing with Chameleon that night. And I was with my boys, my clique, Brian, you know the team.
Yes.
People just went like, they knew that this guy, my first car. So a lot of history and a lot of nostalgia coming out of that. But look, we were built on hard work and also networking. As artists, we survived off each other. So if B-Flow knew somebody who had a studio and you were gifted, the natural thing was like, hey, look, let's go to the studio. Let's go try these vocals out. And that's how we go ahead. I got to meet so many people. A lot of them right now, some own radio stations, some TV stations. Some are still prominent now. Some are legends like you.
Amazing stuff, man.
Yeah.
So when you first came on the scene and, Zone, I was playing on radio, it kind of sounded like you had this like peculiar style. Like it was very different, like not very easy to understand because we've never heard anything like this. And then everybody loved it. Then you came with Ngwidi Lile, you literally proved yourself in that moment. Like, okay, this guy is here to stay. Yeah. He knows what he's doing. Yeah. Next thing, recently I was having a conversation with Chef 187, one of my shows called Z Encyclopedia, fun game. And so he was like, you're always asking the questions. Today I want to ask you a question. Who did this song? And then that's like, going out to my one and only. I'm like, you think I can feel that? So like you were literally proving yourself at every stage. Yeah. You sang, you rapped, you did music with Crisis, Kapuka, and them. It's just amazing to see how gifted you are and have been with your voice and with your art.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Look, let's start working with Chisenga. Started off first as he was a producer. It was Roma Side / Diamond Chain, and TK was given the mandate and the full contract to produce my albums. All right, self-funded.
Is it?
Self-funded, and I remember doing half with Sling Beats, Bravo, Charlie and team. Then TK did some of it. That was for the Ngwidi Lile album. Me and TK had such great chemistry still now, up to now. He will make a song and you say, look, this sounds like you need to come. And a lot of hits came out of him. And I need to give him all the credit now because
Please.
he was patient. You know, for somebody who's not doing local, it was an alternative for anybody who loves music. We're not really the fan favorites, right? So to have 5, 6, 7, 8 number ones was a huge challenge. These are radio number ones where DJs now acknowledge you. I remember performing for 8 to 11 years straight at every show in this town until I just took a break. I'm actually shocked that Chef brought up that song.
Yeah. I'll show you.
I am
the
a
clip.
fan.
I'll show you.
I'm
the
a fan,
clip.
but we don't know each other. That's so much respect to him. I've got my top 5, and I hope you'll ask me. Or if you won't ask me, I'll tell you. He's one of them. All right.
Amazing.
So thank you to Chef. Look, when we're doing that song, it was an experiment. So I walk into the studio. Remember, you know, when you understand music, I walk into the studio and say, look, can you play me C minus, play me so many beats per minute? This is my tempo. You know, so you can't you remain with that creative side of things. And I know how we did the song with Crisis, and that one specifically. I was performing with Crisis, who's Chisenga now.
Yes.
With Bongo Muffin at the Royal Livingston.
Wow.
And that's the first time I met him. I was introduced by Benjamin Brook, also the owner of Solid Rhythms.
Yes.
And we're performing there. And at the back of that, they kind of had the conversation look, this guy is coming. So he was given 2 songs to produce for me on that album I did initially. And that was the birth of Going Out to My One and Only. Going Out. And then for everything that you saw from marketing to videos, self-funded.
Wow.
All self-funded. And the reason why it was self-funded, because, you know, labels, and we respect and we love our labels, but sometimes they don't have the brainchild. They don't see what you see inside your mind in terms of how you want to be seen by the rest of the world. You get it. So they'll say, look, we'll take it to the studio, and maybe they'll take your music to radio here and there. And the rest of it is really up to you. I was busy and booked. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Dollar, Kitwe, Livingston, Cape Town. Always fully booked.
Wow.
All right, so it's been good.
Theodore. Wow, amazing stuff. You can't talk Theodore without a mention of TK.
No.
How did you meet TK?
So I met TK through a friend. A friend who was at Zika's. He says, look, there's somebody I want you to meet. No, eventually heard that Master Flow song, Chimatiba Watoro, it's really good. Dude, okay, let's go. We had to go to Roma. Passing through Unza, the university, we went all the way to Roma, and I met the guy.
You went to
And TK
13 Bingwezi Road.
Who doesn't know that place? And he had then, that's before he moved to the studio at the back. He had the bedroom studio.
Yeah.
He had one little monitor, you know, and you know, kids laugh at them, laugh at those monitors with the back, and
With Elukobo.
with the Lukobo. And you see, I was just amazed at how this guy makes that Chimati Baba. I was so impressed. I'd gone to studios before, like the movie studios, blah, 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 and I was coming from Cypher Music anyway. There was a studio.
Yes.
And there was another
Carousel.
studio just in the same line. There was another studio on the far end. There was Jive Beat Center downstairs. All right? So going to him, it wasn't even about the stuff he had in his studio. It was the fact that he was able to do so much from little. And then he was given the deal to produce for Solid Rhythms. And I remember those Branch and Gala, those TK, I think what Branch and Gala studio, you know, the
Chakarongo?
yeah. I don't know if he remembers. It was in Roma, near Unza, right? Roma, Kalundu, I don't know.
Kalundu.
But he had a studio where
Kalundu.
he said, look, I'm going to take you guys on.
Yeah.
And that's when I also, may so rest in peace, met Alubusu by chance.
Ah.
All right. So Mainza Chipenzi was there too. So you got these 3, 4 people who are very good at making music. And they're all saying, look, this guy, I don't know what we're going to do. TK's got a brilliant mind. And they said, look, why don't you rap? Let's hear you.
Wow.
So when I go. So they made me a fast beat and it was off. It took us literally 2 weeks to come up with that beat.
Wow.
Not 2 minutes. Now I'm able to write a song in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but it took us 2 weeks to get the beat right.
Wow.
So there was wisdom in the Branch and Galas, there was wisdom in Mainza, who was very seasoned. Tiki from Roma side, who was very creative. And there was an army of people just trying to make sure that this guy needs to sound right. Like they could hear, Tiki has got an ear for gifted people.
Yes.
And I could hear that these guys are really interested in me. Because now they were picking me up from home. So look, we need to go to the studio. You're having like 2 weeks trying to do one
that
song.
in itself was motivation for you.
Until I laid the vocals and went away. And 3 weeks to 4 weeks later, I get a call and said, look, you need to listen to this song. Where are you? We're coming to pick you up. They pick me up and go to the studio. They all sit there. And they want my reaction. I just said, you wanna cook on there?
Yeah?
Well, I was ish.
Oh.
It was mental. I just went crazy. I just couldn't believe like this is what you guys are able to do for me.
Amazing.
Ever since that time, the rest is history.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, so you need the team.
So one time you had a radio interview on Radio Phoenix. I had recorded a song in 2004 at Romacide Studio. And so the DJ was going to play it, was playing it on radio, and they needed your opinion on the song.
Yeah.
And I was so scared. I didn't know what you were going to say. And you listen to it and you're like, it kind of reminds me of myself. There's something about this guy. And you literally were the first Zambian artist, I would say established at the time, who said this guy has a future in the industry. When you listen to my song, you can't even remember. I can't even.
You know,
nobody
I'm
even
glad I
knows the
said
song.
something positive.
Yeah.
So I won't be here, right?
Yeah, so that was
That's fair.
amazing for me. So the man that sponsored the recording of that song with TK,
Yeah.
is late now. May he so rest in peace. Ignatius Chongwe. He was a lawyer by profession. So he brought me a recording of your interview.
Yeah.
And he said, I had to keep this for you because I need you to continue listening to this for your motivation.
Yeah.
Like Theodore. And I was showing everybody, I was playing that with everybody in Kabwe. And then somebody even mentioned to say, I think that Theodore has lived in Kabwe before. And they started pointing at a place. I'm not sure if that's a true story. Yeah, but they were like,
I had cousins in Kabwe.
oh, okay.
So we'll travel, we'll go to Kabwe for a couple of days.
Is it in a place called B Avenue?
No idea.
Oh, okay.
No idea, but
yeah, well, so they were
I
like,
remember there were some prominent people on that street. So
yeah.
Maybe
it's one of those things where people were suspecting that maybe you were just putting me on because you were perceived as.
And to be honest with you, when I heard you for the first time, like you're saying, like you see when somebody's different, the best thing or the easiest thing for people to say, I don't know how it is with that artist. Kalira Caesar Peter. You understand? Caesar Peter. And you see, they make assumptions.
Yeah.
But look what you did.
Yeah.
Obama's son. Barack Obama's son.
Amazing stuff. You also had a collaboration with General Ozzy. It's one of my favorite songs. I think it's called Nikululukile.
Yeah, I remember that.
This in ragamuffin or dancehall terms, we would call it the Diwali rhythm. The doom, 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 yeah, that song. Was that a Romacide or Sling Beats production?
That was a Romacide. Look, General Ozzy, I don't even know why he retired. I need to give him a call. He can't retire, man.
He can't retire.
No,
he's not allowed to retire.
No, he's not allowed to retire. Like, I miss his music.
This here show, we will not allow anybody to retire.
No, let's not do that.
We are flowing it back.
Absolutely. So, look, General Ozzy has been a brother of mine for many years. And I'm a huge fan of General Ozzy. Me and him had chemistry from day one. I met him at Sling Beats. And what used to happen, whenever we'll have shows, we'll cross paths, right? And it was only right that we did a song together. It's not the only song. I think the other songs that we've spoken about that we want to do. We did actually other songs. Just grateful to him. General Ozzy is a monster on his own. It's different. You remember Chimtengo Chamango, you?
I do, man. I do.
I
toured with him, and that was my favorite song to perform with him.
He's different, so God bless you. God bless him. He's very good. Like I said, I created a lot of friends, made a lot of friends, and created families and networks that work. And it was very difficult for me to get collaborations, and because people thought, this is not going anywhere. But when you get collaborations because you want to tap into each other's fan bases, you also want to hear people play you. People want to hear us on the same song. All right?
Can we talk about that? Can we have a conversation about that? Because I'm trying to look at the industry today now.
And
I'm looking at bridging the gap between what they call the older generation artists versus the newer artists who are starting out
Absolutely.
or buzzing at the moment. And then there's sometimes there tend to be this friction where it looks like this generation feels like these don't deserve to be in our space, and this other generation feels like so they actually think they know what they're doing. They don't want to
Yeah.
learn from us, and then I feel like it's been a bit difficult to have collaborations between the younger generation and the
Yeah.
more established generation. And I've had conversations with other artists who've said I can't even have a conversation with them because there's a way that they look at me when I approach them. They think I am asking for a favor or I'm desperate.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the power of collaboration
Yeah.
and what do you think about it?
So let's get into it. So for me, old school, new school, no school rules. Right? Because you listen to a Bob Marley song done recently featuring Sarkodie out of Ghana, you won't believe what magic. That's going straight back to number one. One thing that artists or creatives need to understand is that there's nothing new under the sun. Every key that you're going to play, it has already been played. All right? And my take is this on collaboration. Look, it's okay for you to collaborate with who you want to collaborate with. But what I learned over time when it comes to creating is that you don't know who's going to unlock that genius in you. So, and I hear it because sometimes up and coming artists think they're already big enough because you go number one. Then you're dealing with the genius, I won't mention names, who had 6, 7, 8, 10 number ones. They can go on tour without anybody. It's only recent that it's popular to do an album with so many features. Back in the day, you do an album by yourself.
Yes.
All right? The whole entire album, people just want to listen to you.
Yeah.
I think you've got a project like that where
Yes.
people just listen to B-Flow and
Yes.
end to end. Look at the Exile. Exile did the whole entire album. Craig David, there are many.
Yeah.
So, in the spirit of creativity, anybody who thinks that collaboration is a bad thing, the secret is that as long as you're collaborating with somebody, you're tapping into each other's fan bases, you're sharing ideas, you're unlocking genius and fortune that you do not understand. There's a reason why, I'll give an example. JK can still sing his old songs. Phil Collins they can have a whole concert and go on tour with the old songs.
Danica has a whole festival.
A whole festival.
Danica Fest.
And if I'm not mistaken, others are following suit. It's the right thing to do. Look, we need each other in this industry. And to realize that as an artist, especially if you're doing music for fame, it dies out. So we will allow you to do 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Then you have to go back home, wherever it is you're coming from. But the people who are live artists, I still create music. Here I am. So when you ask me that you don't hear my songs on radio, come and see me how we live. You understand? It's different. You understand?
Yes.
And I know it's only right that you either share royalties, you get an upfront check, and where you can't have checks, believe in your craft that the check will come one day. But the truth is that this is business now. So if you don't want to do a feature with me, it's fine. Give me your terms.
Oh.
We speak to international artists all the time. Let's send you Theo, look, let's do a collaboration. My management will give you what my fee is. It's also okay. Saying no is also fine because you want to protect your brand or you think somebody's not good enough. We have had serious artists in this country and they're still alive because they were hibernating and they've given you space. You can be big now. How many hits do you need for you to be number one? B-Flow has got hits. He had many hits. When B-Flow was telling me he can't even walk in Soweto Market.
Yeah.
Can you walk in Soweto Market? Maybe after a couple of months, people won't even know who you are. So I think the gap is in the fact that we're not connecting from a business standpoint and everybody has got a price. Everybody has got a price. If you think that it's beneficial for me, if I think it's beneficial for me to collaborate with you, I must be open to talk about what the commercials are. I'm big on business. But if a friend calls me and says, look, I'm doing a song, would you jump on it? I will now need to decide whether I need to get a cut off it, whether it's a split of royalties, streams, or I want to get an upfront check. I'll let you know. If you're a friend of mine, back in the day, we just used to collaborate and then do tours together. The money was bigger because every time I'm performing, guess who you're going to see? You're going to see General Ozzy, you're going to see Tai2, you're going to see Brio, you're going to see so-and-so, you're going to see so-and-so. It's one package. At the end of the night, when I get my check, I'm saying, guys, this is for you, this is for you, this is for you, this is for you. Guys, let's go to the next town. And it used to work like that. And when I'm going on tour, I'll hire like buses or pay for flights and I'm carrying people. Because these are artists and I know they need to put food on the table. If you're creating because you want to archive it, it's different. That's a waste of time. But whatever it is that you're creating, make sure that people can actually consume it and listen to it. So,
Amazing.
look, I love the new school, by the way. When you listen to my new music, I can't even tell from what year it's in.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get lucky, you're not getting lucky because of your hard work. You're prominent now. Guys, we've had prominent artists. I wasn't the most prominent artist, but I assure you I made more money than the prominent artists.
Because of how you move.
Move different.
Yeah.
So if you're not looking to make friends, that's fine. But since we're on this topic,
I like the part where you say, "Come see how we live."
so funny.
We need to talk about that. You are one of the most respected artists to ever walk the Zambian soil. Trust me.
Thank you.
And part of the reason is because you were also able to balance between your art as well as we could say your education. But also, whenever someone wanted to give an example of why it's important for an artist to also, acquire some knowledge, whether it's go to school or do something big away from the music and then reinvest in the industry, your name would always come up. It would be Theodore, MC Wabuino, John To. And these three guys had and have something in common, one thing in common. The story was, our Emma bankers, ma bankers, ma banker. That's what we knew Theodore for.
The money guy.
The money guy. Wako bank. Oh, by the way, he once paid me for a show at the bank.
So let me talk about that. Look, as artists or creatives, we are very smart people. You're smart. But don't limit that smartness in just creating music, painting pictures, taking photos, making movies. We need that mind in the real world as well. I'm not saying that art is not the real world. It is there. But believe me, there'll be dry seasons. You need to put food on the table. So, what am I? I'm a global charter management accountant, big data analytics expert, predictive analytics and business intelligence. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a painter. I write songs. I produce songs. I can perform. I do things. All I'm saying is that when I take a break, I'm literally just focusing on something else. I'm not saying that I'm not an artist. I've got a studio at home. I make music almost every other day. My new album is dropping next Friday. And you say, you're dropping an album where? Search. But also go look at the stats on Apple Music, right?
Yeah.
Then you do your math. So it's about also moving with time. You cannot limit yourself and put yourself in the box just because you're an artist. So B-Flow, you're an artist, so you can't be in the boardroom. So you won't find me anywhere else apart from the boardroom. Because guess what? Real industries in this town are looking for my opinion.
Wow.
I'll be in my suit. I'll be in my tie. And when I walk into the boardroom, people just want to hear what I have to say.
Wow. That's another talent.
You understand? So we participating in the real commercial world. And you spoke about how I gave you a check whilst I was in this world, because if I understand that world, it's easy for me to also bridge the gap between creatives and make sure that we get the right pay. Your brand ambassadors, you're getting the right checks. When an international artist comes, they're given so much in dollars. Please give our local guys also this much because they need it. So just have fun with it. We take things too seriously.
Yeah.
You understand? But I'll be honest with you. The population in this country will not support your art to the extent in which you feel or dream of living. You can't do more in this industry if you're broke. Facts. For you to get a collaboration with some artists I've spoken to, minimum is $25,000 to $50,000. How much did you get in your last show? So if you want to take this to the next level, let's do business.
Level up.
So look, I'm mentoring a lot of people. And look, if you want to talk about money, let's talk about it. And we'll see how creatives can actually start making real money. It's not just about being busy. No, I went to the studio.
Yeah.
Bro, there's no food in the house. And you're telling me that you're going to starve because you believe in your passion. It doesn't make sense to me. That's why I told you, like, fame and fortune. So you're famous, but you sleep hungry. What's the point? I want when I see you on TV and I listen to your music, you be an example to me and the kids in the neighborhood. They must know. And look, it's not always about going to school and getting a degree and being blah, blah, blah. But it's also just about being street smart. Sometimes as an artist, we struggle just to diversify. The easiest we do is our t-shirts and you print the logo of your album.
Merch.
How many people buy clothes every day? So there are things that you can literally get into farming. I won't mention the artist. I was very proud to see on social media that he's into farming.
Yes.
Land is reasonable in this country. Go get yourself a piece. Grow some onions or something. Supply these supermarkets so you diversify your revenue because that revenue won't always be there. Soon, you know what happens with a hit? So it goes all the way to the top. So you're making a bit of money. So this one, they're calling you perform here and there. But guess what? Next week, we're having another hit. And the other week, we're going to have another hit.
From another person.
So now, there are substitutes. So when you call me and I tell you, look, for me, it's $5,000, $10,000. I've got a team. I'll do this for you. Before you say, look, Theo, look, I'm doing this for charity. Then I'd rather come for free because you're my boy. But if somebody's calling me and you want to mess up my sleep, you really have to sort out my invoice. Otherwise,
your sleep is expensive, man.
Very. It needs to make sure that it makes sense to me. Otherwise, I'm not showing up.
Yeah.
But guess what? The person who's hiring me won't care. They'll go to the next person who's cheaper, who's going to ask for 5,000 kwacha. You understand? And they're still going to have a fantastic show, and life will go on. But what do you eat then? All I'm saying is that let's think differently. Let's also invest in infrastructure. If you're an artist, invest in a studio. Invest in a team. These days, you need a social media manager. You need producers. Not one. Otherwise, all your music sounds the same. You need to get musicians who actually play music. You need to get a film guy. You know, these days it's about content. So you also move with time. If you're not moving with time, you miss the train totally. Because so what, you got a number one song. People love Delight the Studio. And your neighbors love it. But guess what? No one else will ever see it. Because guess what? The DJ wants to be paid to play your song.
Wow.
It's not like us. Those days we had DJs who heard of you in the grapevine. May you so rest in peace. People like DJ OBC. People like K-Smash.
Yeah. Boogie C.
They'll just call you back and say, look, I heard you did something in the studio yesterday. Send it. These are brothers who crafted and created this industry for us.
Yes.
They put you against B-Flow and other people and say, guys, you vote. Then the community votes. You're now on heavy rotation. By day 3, you're number 1 everywhere. Then they do that for the next artist and the next artist. So it's not just me or B-Flow. There are a lot of people who made sure that we made it. And that's how life's supposed to be. So strike a balance. And we all know as artists, sometimes it's so dry that you have nothing to eat. So now you're performing for food or drinks.
For drinks.
And as a brother, I'm looking at you like, look, you're good. And I know your music is good. But if it's not yielding results, let people miss you for a while, man.
Nothing wrong
then
with that.
When you come back, just increase your fee. You understand? Then you get more. So that's my take on doing more.
This episode is a class right now, and we're learning from discipline to financial literacy and everything in between. It's amazing, man. It's amazing to have you here. Now that I have you here, I think I want to take this opportunity to give you your flowers and just appreciate you for the discipline and for maintaining such a brilliant brand that to this day, when we look back, we love it and we still yearn for more. And you are back like you never left. It's amazing for me. Any advice for, the artists that are coming up today who are looking at music as, so I've got a show this weekend. I'll have another one next weekend and another one and another other one the weekend after. Please tell them the truth. Tell them the reality of how this goes.
The hidden truth or
because
the raw.
They've never been there.
You want me to cut? So look. So you got a number 1 and you're happening right now. You're not the first one. Sorry. I know sometimes we feel like we're the best thing ever since sliced bread.
I'm the first to actually travel and do a show in Zimbabwe or do a show in the UK.
There's nothing special about you, man or woman. You're good. It's your time. Or my advice is that just make sure that you're consistent. Just like any other global artist, we're like a product life cycle. Like a song's got a product life cycle. Like it's just coming down. We've had artists in this market who've done albums every 3 months just to try and maintain that curve that's pointing upwards. But having material and also making sure that you're putting food on the table or just being you also comes with a lot of humbleness because being at the top comes with a lot of hate. It also comes with a lot of responsibility. People can't wait for you to fall. So now let me talk as an artist. It's important to know who you are. When I walk in the room, I'll be honest with you. I tell people that I am him. I don't care who you're dealing with. When I walk in, I'm different. And that's the attitude you need to have. At the same time, make sure you create long-lasting networks because what goes up must come down. All right?
Yeah.
Sometimes being cocky or arrogant is okay because you can back it up with your material and your number ones and how you're moving. I'll go back to what I said first. You're not the first one. There's so many greats who, if you dare them to go to the studio today, we're all doomed. You understand?
I
So
know.
take it easy. Do your thing. We love Zambia music. We love you. Whoever you are, we love you. Continue doing what you're doing. Continue applying pressure on the new or old school, whoever it is that you're targeting. But most importantly, let's do this for the fans. The fans love this.
Great stuff. And I know that whoever is watching us right now agrees with me when I say the industry needs you, Theo. The industry really, really needs you with all the information that you have, the experience, and also how you have been moving with the time. Because even when I hear you speak about what's supposed to be happening today, your understanding of the streaming platforms, the revenue shares, the splits, and everything else, one can only agree that we need you now more than ever because you've lived in both times. You've been there in the past.
Yeah.
You're here now, and you're still making music. Let's talk about your new music
Yeah.
and where people will be able to find it. Are there any changes to your name or any new additions to your brand name?
Yeah.
Let's talk about all that.
Yeah, so first of all, shout out to my management, obviously headed by Niza. She's here. Say hello. Yeah,
Hi,
so
hi.
there's Niza here. And I've got a whole other team. I'm sure all of you have heard of people like Miles came along. There's a bunch of other
Miles
people
came along, yes.
behind us. I just want to say this. Thank you for that. Happy to support where anybody who's serious, not just anybody. Like, look, don't even think about it. Happy to support. The reason why we do this, art is not easy. Let me just take you back. Just coming up with the melody of a hit song. You know, when you wake up at 2 in the morning and you want to hum in your phone because you don't want to forget, that's money.
A melody like which one? Like, oh, Wandy baby. Let's go.
I love you. Oh, Auntie Ba-" Remember that?
Yes.
So these things are coming up and you're recording. And when you walk into the studio, don't forget studio time is also expensive. All right. When it comes to the arts that we do, whether you're a painter, you're a blogger, you do a podcast, at the end of the day, it needs to be monetized. Packaging is important. Branding is important. How people see you on the street. Don't forget character also. People experience you in the community, who experience you at home, your neighbors. Why should they pay for your art? So packaging starts from when you write the song, it's not the end. That's like 2%. Anyone can do a song. Whether it's a hit, whether it's off-key, anybody can do that. But how do you package that to sell it? To sell it at the premium. I'm not just saying to sell it because you want to sell something. At the premium. Because you're unique. All right?
Wow.
Think about all that. Sometimes you need to pay for the knowledge for you to understand how to package. You can't do everything by yourself. You can't write the song, you produce the song, you record it, you shoot your own video, you mix the video.
Your own manager.
You're your own manager. Guys, it's okay to also have a group of people and you agree on the dream. The money might come later. But you do it so well that when the money comes, you're also fair. I've noticed that a lot of people have fallen out of bands, gangs, record labels because of greed. As a young person, if you want to get ahead, don't forget people who put you on. Right? Because character is what destroys so many things. And I hear there's people who are gatekeepers. It doesn't work like that when you know who you are. I told you I am him.
Yes.
When you know who you are, you don't care who's the gatekeeper. If you know what your price is and who you are, you will get it. Just need to be in the right places. But you might need to pay for certain things. What's the reason why we're going to invite you in our room? Who are you? But if you're humble enough, maybe I might invite you. That's there. Now, when it comes to commercial astuteness, think about the struggle of why you wanted to be a musician. A lot of people want to do this for fame. That's nice. But you can't be famous and you can't eat. You understand? Then the people are literally know why they're coming into this and they want to do this for the money. And some of them try to do good. But you see, sometimes it's limited. You can only do what you know until I introduce you to a new world. All right? Thank you. So that's how it works. And that's how I would like to support the industry. And look, there's enough cake for everyone to eat. But I also want to let you know that maybe the cake is not big enough here. How do we break that barrier? Because I hear people saying bad things about artists who are trying to get us out there. There's no need of hating. There's space. There's 8 billion people plus in the world, I think.
Yes.
We can't all fight for that 2 million, 3 buying power in Zambia. But let's not do that. Let's support those who are leading us. And maybe one day that's going to be us. So we also struggle to work together. You know, the jealousy thing. You know, the people posting.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about names. I'm just saying we see it all.
Yeah, the social media.
But I want to also let you know that people who are fine and they're eating, they don't participate in things like that. We just watch you. Like, hey, you guys fight for it.
Yeah, like fight for your new
You're fighting
money.
for nothing. Old money is better than new money. Because old money is humble.
Yes.
Yeah. And they say, look,
it doesn't make noise.
Coins make noise. You get my point.
Yeah.
So when it comes to my new music, I've been releasing new music since 2021. A few jams I've played on radio here. This is our market, but it's not our target market.
Wow, that's deep. And that's true.
We can't just make music for here. The world needs to hear it. And Nisa will tell you about that. The world needs to hear it. We did so much here to an extent whereby we leave room for those who are starting out. But I think it will be quite humbling if we go out there and do big things and start bringing back that export revenue. I told you about Nigeria and how much is coming in terms of diaspora activity coming to Nigeria. We can do the same thing for Zambia. And I know there are decent artists in this country with decent catalogs that can get us some of those accolades and the money back into this country. So my new music, I got new music that's coming out on Friday next week. People know me as Theodore. I'm Theodore still. My branding changed a little bit. I'm Theos on all streaming services and YouTube.
Please spell it.
It's just a product.
Yeah,
I'm still Theodore, right?
So
I am Theos. I think I'll give you the details for you to attach to the episode, right?
Yeah.
So everything's going to be there, including some of the new songs, which you can put there as a soundtrack
Yes.
if you like. So it's not difficult for anybody who's watching this. You'll still be able to find me when you just click. There's details at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So when you subscribe to his Flow TV,
Yeah.
make sure you also click on some of those links that will be there, and you'll be able to discover who we are and who I am. And we should be able to look, enjoy the music. Some of it can play on radio, some of it can't. Okay?
I hear you.
But what's important is that, again, when you're an artist, make sure that you define what you want your target market to be. I did so much in this town, in this country. We made so much money in a very greedy sense because you wouldn't go to a show without me. There will be no show that will be advertised and I'm not there. And I'll be honest with you, and thank you to some of the people we found in the industry. They did so much for us. They encouraged us. George Bango, may so rest in peace. People like JK, people like Danny, people like Exile, there are many artists who've done so much, who built it to the level when we're coming in. And we still respect the old ones.
You also talked about Louis X.
Louis X.
Yes.
One of the when I heard Louis X on that, right, he wrote the JK Kulaisha. Remember that? Kafikiri short. You don't know. Listen, you don't know. Guys, if you don't know this guy, just do your time and leave the industry. If you don't know this guy, people don't know what damage people like JK can do. People like Chameleon. Do you know Exile very well? Do they even know that he was a rapper before?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever heard of people like 5'4"? Brio. Guys, sometimes let's let the sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah.
Because there's some people who understand the Zambian music and music globally who've decided to just watch at bay, but also appreciate that the up-and-coming artists are doing a fantastic job, by the way. I listen to everything. And in case you want to ask me, maybe let me just say who my top 5 is. All right?
Go ahead,
So
sir.
let me tell you my top 5.
Looks like you have
Look, I have
to say this.
So top 5. Look, if it gets to 10, don't blame me. So my top 5. Chandana K.
Really?
No particular order, right? No particular order. So I got Chandana K.
No, that's interesting because
White celeb.
I'm looking at you.
So there's White Celeb.
Okay.
Then there's T-Sean. Guys, T-Sean is one of those slept-on artists.
Correct,
Guys, T-Sean.
Correct.
You got J-Rocks. Guys, come on. It's J-Rocks. Then you've got people like General Ozzy.
Wow.
Guys.
I like the balance in the generations
guys,
there.
You've got Your Maps. Your Maps. Guys, let's just respect. Let's just give the flowers to these guys. You know, Your Maps, guys. He's all the way up the top. Then you got people like Chef. Guys, you got people like Sampa the Great. Please, have I forgotten any? Did I mention White Celeb already?
Yes, you did.
Okay,
Yes,
I mentioned him twice. He's a problem. Jessica Links. You know, then I'm also listening to young artists who are coming up. YVOK, I love that style. That's different.
Blood Kid.
Black Kid is different. Right? People like Slap D. Slap D guys has earned his flowers over the years.
Yes.
The guy just needs to be there.
Yeah.
People like JK is a given. Exile, all those guys are given. Those guys have earned the right of passage. They don't even need my accolades. They're there already. You understand? So I listen to everything and anything. And when I hear recently I heard, what's that song? Chester.
Kulongana.
You know what? I stopped my car and I Googled it.
Like, what's this?
And then I was like, I'm like, what? Guys, look, we got enough. Guys, we have enough. Like,
Yes.
guys, let's just enjoy each other, respect each other.
Yes.
And for the fans who are listening, let's pay for the art. Let's pay for the art. Let's pay for the art. Afunika. Guys,
Yes.
come on. No, because sometimes when you have it, you don't know that you have it
Yeah.
until it goes away.
Right.
But how is it that when we travel, these are the artists that, who other artists, for example, in Ghana and people I mixed from SA talk about.
Yes.
And we're here. We can't even pay for their shows.
And then when we see people like Tyler, the Creator, begin to sample music by the Ngozi family.
Look at that. Now everybody's tagging
like,
in
oh.
Congos. Like, they've never tagged him before. They've never posted this music before. But here we are. So sometimes, and this is going to old, new artists, whatever school you're in, whether old or new, continue creating. There's always somebody who's listening to you. You've got a community that depends on you. And there's people are surviving on hearing your encouragement of a song.
Wow.
And they're able to get ahead. So don't stop creating for anybody.
You are therapists.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're shrinks.
Yes. Amazing stuff, man. Before I let you go, do you have a title for your new album?
Yes.
Is that something you're willing to tell us now, or it's going to be a surprise?
No, I'm able to tell you, and I'll be able to tell you a couple of people are on it.
Yes.
So the title of my album is Half Rap, Half Soul.
Cool.
This album has got Muko, the entertainer, is very good. He's a very good kid. He's brilliant.
I know.
He's on the first song. You've got Trellis Win, another new talent. You've got Slap D on it.
Wow.
You've got Muko again. You've got J-Max on it. You've
Hey.
got Mwango on it. There's some heavy hitters here.
I'm excited.
What I wanted to do is that sometimes when people haven't heard you in a while, I think a lot of people will be shocked with the type of, first of all, style of music on it.
And then the unexpected collaboration.
The collaborations. I've got more collaborations actually. I'll give you this set. Then we'll give you another Half Rap, Half Soul, maybe part 2 later. But the idea is I'm interested in bridging the gap between the new and the old. But I also want to make sure that the young people are given a shot. I spoke to you about Miles. Miles could be one of the greatest producers. There are many great producers in this country. That include Miles came along.
He really came
Miles is done. When you listen to the radio,
Yeah.
9 out of 10 songs playing are coming from Miles.
Yes.
Again, when it comes to producers, guys, pay them. Songwriters, pay them. All right? The people who dress us, pay them. The catering, pay them. Photography, pay. And the idea is that there's this whole entire economy that works around musicians or artists that sometimes don't know B-Flow. But B-Flow, they don't know your team. Your team is big.
Yeah.
They don't know the team behind all this. You get my point. And the idea is that as we are all growing, everybody else is growing and they're able to do what they can do with what they get out of it. Whether it's fame, whether it's fortune, but growth is important for everybody.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's really
I'm Theo's,
amazing, man.
half rap, half soul,
Half Soul.
Friday, the 21st March, it drops. Some of you can already, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see some snippets of start throwing there. There'll be no TikTok challenge, but I think, I don't know what management wants to do. They might give an artist or two an opportunity to record something with me. They obviously will get their checks. We'll introduce them to new things that they do not understand about the music world. We'll get them official distributors either out of London or the US. You know the drill. So that they start creating their own catalogs, and over time they'll look back and say, "This is how we contribute." For example, I told you I don't sign people, but if you want to work, I'll maybe do 3 songs for you. It will be my bill. We'll put you on. Then after that, see how you run with that style. And if you're really, really good, we'll make sure you get to the top.
What a big heart you have, man. This is one of my favorite episodes of the Z FLOWback.
I hope so.
Yeah, man. You've been dropping gems, and at the same time, you came in as, as a parent of the industry who came to, I don't want to call it give a lecture, but you literally came to educate and edutain. And that's what you've done here. I really appreciate you for being the man that carries everybody along. You believe in giving a shot and an opportunity to new talent, but you also believe in the power and existence of those that came before the new talent as well. And I just love the balance that you bring in all this. And for that, I really appreciate you. And once again, I give you your flowers and say
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Theodore. Thank you, Theos, for what you have done for Zambian music, for what you continue to do, and for the new commitment that you have made, that you are willing and available and open to help anybody that's willing and serious.
Serious.
Yeah,
was the key word.
Yes.
No, thank you. Biflo, I've known you for many years. Yeah, we've done shows together. Proud of you. You're doing so much for the community, right? And whenever you need support, just give me a call and let's do it. Also, things like this.
I'll definitely give you a call. You are the money man. Oh, he's the money man.
Listen to this guy. No, happy to work with you. Happy to support. You're doing so much in the community, like I've said. Continue doing that. Podcasts like this. I was talking to my sister. Shout out. She says she's going to watch it. She watches all your episodes. She's based in New York, Cindy.
Amazing.
And she told me be ready to sing because it makes people sing on it.
Oh yeah.
And as I was walking in, I was chatting with her. She's one of the few who's got the album early before everybody else. So she's listening to it, and she was telling me that she's going to listen to the rest of it.
Wow.
It actually just came out today, but it's dropping officially in all streams on the 21st. So thank you so much, hey? Yeah, really appreciate you.
Talking about singing, before you go, leave us with something. It's either that you can give us something from the new album, or there's one song you didn't sing, Nigwili Lile.
Okay, let's try Nigwili Lile.
Yeah.
Will I remember the words?
Yes, you will.
Let's do Zona.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
I can help you with Nigwili Lile and then you do Zona.
Nigwili Lile. Osani siye. Nifuno kuona daily. Daily. Nigwili Lile. Osani siye. Nifuno kuona daily. Daily. Baby.
I went all the way.
baby. The early birdie. That's
catches
it.
The wormy.
Catches a wormy. Okay, we used to negotiate with a lot of words, eh?
Lovely,
man. Yeah, the liquidity there is like, you should have seen how beautiful she looked when she walked through the street. The other day, the same babe I told you about, I made at the mall, made me sing like, ooh, who made me say, my, oh my, do you mind to be mine, oh my? You look so fine. There's no way I get you out of my mind. Her body's like whoop, 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 whoop. And she makes my heart go boom, boom, boom. It's good that she loves me too. Going fitty like the way we shoot. The Danny Namuona. The Danny Namukonda. The Danny Namufuna. The Danny Funa.
If you're twaile.
Zona. Ujamkazi anikonda. Woo! It was crazy, man. It's a long time ago.
Man, I'm telling you.
But guess what?
Mhm.
On the new project, it's there.
It's there.
With a new beat,
Let it be there.
new vocals, a new sound.
Amazing.
Enjoy it. Thank you.
Respect. Thank you, man. Thanks for showing up.
Thank you.
Enough
for making
respect.
time.
Yes.
Thank you. Cheers.